The action has finally begun. Heads are rolling, tanks are prowling, and a loud and clear message is being sent from Ukraine. The new world order is about to emerge. Hi and welcome, you're watching TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of TFI Media Group. I'm your host Tejasvi Malhotra, and in this video I will give you a detailed take on how a new world order could emerge from Ukraine following the heightened tensions reported in the Donbas region. Let's begin. Vladimir Putin on Thursday ordered the Russian military to undertake a military operation in eastern Ukraine's Donbas region. Amid fears of Kyiv being toppled, the Western nations have upped the game by announcing sweeping sanctions on Kremlin. The US-led NATO has condemned the attacks and pledged to defend every inch of NATO territory. Media reports revealed that 7 loud explosions were heard early morning in Kyiv shortly after Putin gave a go-ahead to its warring military being to retaliate against Biden's incessant provocation. It would be preposterous to say that NATO will involve itself militarily to defend Ukraine. The US is no simpleton. It won't poke Putin in the eye to keep the wrath of the Russian military at bay. Frankly speaking, the obdurate stance shown by Biden about admitting Ukraine into NATO will now end up wiping out the country's name from the world map. Sanctions will inevitably follow the Russian invasion, which may hardly bear any implication on the already insulated Russian economy. Russia may appear more isolated than ever on the world stage, and China may try to exploit its increased leverage against Russia in the coming years.
Hey, it's me Atul. I started this channel. We started small, we went big. Suddenly, the whitey police was after us. We dodged and ducked, but the algos got us really bad. So we designed our own app. It's free. We never asked for money, we never will. But the droid called us too sensitive and blocked us. We still have an Apple app. Join us and fast, because if you don't, we will cease to exist. Check out the link in the description.
But for Russia, these setbacks will be short-lived given that all significant nations are openly and tacitly throwing their support behind Russia and not the US. Russia is far from being ostracized on the world stage, and it enjoys a reputation among nations like India, Japan, Israel, and France. Left-aligned media may not reveal the other side of the story, but that's the truth that undermines this anti-Russia agenda. The world should wait for the dust to settle over the Ukraine crisis, and then it would witness a new world order emerge hot on the heels of NATO's retreat from Ukraine. First of all, let's look at the list of nations that are unwilling to help Biden exacerbate the Ukraine crisis. First, India. India has chosen its side in this crisis and has rejected Biden's attempts to draw a parallel between China's actions against India and Russia's action against Ukraine. Second, France. Amid a Ukraine crisis, France is busy holding talks with India and reaffirming France's pledge to counter rising Chinese influence in Indo-Pacific. Third is Japan. The kingmaker of Japan's politics and former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe recently said in an interview that Japan should support Ukraine but prefer its ties with Russia. Shinzo Abe is not willing to shift his nation's attention from China. Israel recently blocked a deal with Ukraine to supply it with Iron Dome missile defense system and has preferred to keep Russia in good humor. Fifth is UAE. On Wednesday, the UAE's foreign minister telephoned his Russian counterpart to stress the strength of ties to Russia and sent a clear message that it will prioritize Russia above all. Sixth is Vietnam. Russia is a great defense partner of Vietnam and is arming itself with Russian weapons to stonewall China's efforts to usurp the South China Sea. The list of nations supporting Russia includes all the heavyweights of the geopolitical arena, including the world's top military and economic powers. On the other hand, we have another list of nations that oppose Russia and are on the wrong side of history. The US under Joe Biden, the UK, China, Germany, Canada, Australia, and Turkey together constitute this list. What on earth China is doing on this list, you may ask? Well, this is exactly what has happened. China realizes that it needs the West to shore up its economy. It has tactfully shifted its allegiance towards the US over the past week and has criticized Russia's retaliation against the US-led Ukraine. Similarly, the G7 nations like Canada, Australia, UK and the US have announced sanctions on Russia. Germany is believed to have killed the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline project to punish Russia. These are the nations that still view Russia as the biggest threat to their national security and are sleepwalking on the China question. Interestingly, this list comprises all the declining powers of the world, including Germany, the US and the UK. Barring the US, no other country have military and economic muscles to even stand a chance against the other bloc led by powers like India and Russia. Lastly, here is a list of nations that have so far stayed silent and have pursued a non-aligned foreign policy. African nations, South American nations, Southeast Asia, Pacific nations have found a place in the list. The Ukraine crisis is going to have a major impact on the global geopolitical map, and its end may see an emergence of the new world order. A new world where sane powers like India, Russia and Japan and France will look to dominate, while declining powers will be left cursing their fortunes.